Saturday, 8th August, it's going to be Brave 38 emanating live from Stockholm, Sweden. Brave has been on a roll going throughout Europe, and I'm going to be talking to the man who's going to be taking on former Brave Welterweight Champion Abdoul Abdouraguimov in his quest to finally get that trilogy we've been waiting for with Jarrah Al Silawi. I'm talking to nobody else but Carl the Bomber Booth. How are you, sir?
Boom. I'm cool, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for doing this, first of all. This is really cool of you. Again, like, not a lot of people would do this, especially during fight week, especially during probably what is going in to be your second main event in a row, by the way, which is fantastic. I feel like drawing numbers are there, sir. Yes, sir. Flex it for me. And I feel like this is perfect because right after the Hayder Hassan fight, which, again, was one of those fights where you have a big name, right? UFC veteran, all of that coming in. You weathered the storm there, 3 hard rounds, and after that, were you expecting the Jarrah Al Silawi fight straight away? I'm gonna start with there, or were you expecting somebody else along the way?
Nah, I heard on the pipeline that Jarrah had signed a fight against that Khamzat guy, so I wasn't expecting the fight straight away. I was probably gonna get something else in between, and I was just like scoping. But obviously, we were supposed to be fighting in Brazil in March.
Yeah. So
when I got that fight announced, I was pretty gassed for it and stuff. But yeah, I knew it was coming eventually. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Brazil to Sweden, that's a bit of a change, isn't it? Like from the beaches all the way to whatever is happening in Sweden right now.
Mountains and trees.
Must be cold there a little bit, at least compared to Brazil, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's nice weather, nice people. It's good scenery. It's all right. It's nice.
Beautiful Sweden. Well, I'm really excited for you and heading into this fight. The Brave Welterweight division, like you said, you dropped the name there, Khamzat Chimaev, something of a revelation to everybody. I mean, seeing somebody going from Brave to the UFC and Fight Island, winning 2 fights in a row, does it kind of validate? I feel like it definitely does, because I've been going around telling people, yo, there's these guys in Brave who are really good. You being one of them, probably top of the list. Sorry?
Thanks, bro. Yeah, there's a few guys now coming from Brave and then ended up in the UFC and stuff, especially like the light heavyweights and stuff like that. So yeah, like, mate, all you got to do is watch the show. You can realize the level of the talent that's here. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've been fortunate enough to be on quite a few of these shows and seen some really good talent coming through. It's a pleasure to be a part of.
A few of these shows, how humble. Bro, you were in Brave CF2. The second ever edition of Brave. You are probably the closest thing they have to a outstanding, guy who's been around throughout all of these events. How have you seen the company grow? How do you feel like it's coming right now? I mean, heading into Brave 38 media day as it is right now. Yeah. How do you feel? How much has the company grown in the last couple of years?
It's grown good, man. But the main thing is like the team, everybody that worked with Brave. They're like a family. They're like a proper unit, man, and it's really cool to like come back and see all the boys and stuff. That's the best part. The show itself, I expected it to grow like this. You know what I mean? From the interviews post Brave 2, and what Shahid was saying about how he wanted to grow the show, and we're already just seeing it starting to unfold. And still, I think the show's going to develop even further.
Yeah, no, it has to. I mean, it's only up from here, right? Let's go straight to it, man. How are you feeling going into this fight? Physically, mentally, how's the whole camp been? How's the travel been? How are you?
I am excellent, man. To be fair, like, we've trained really hard. I managed to get myself in a like peak fitness. I'm feeling good. I've had sports therapy literally like daily, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling loose, sharp. My weight's low. I'm ready.
Oh, not much of a weight cut coming your way then in the next few days?
Nah, so I've never really struggled too much with my weight. 77 is like, it's my weight. I'm supposed to be at this weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, like flying in, and I've done it a few times now, so I kind of know what to expect. You fly in, you're a little bit heavier than what you was when you left, and you know what I mean? But you get here, get the work done, before you know it, you're back where you was. That's it.
Yeah, there we go, man. And that's a good mindset to keep. So you're constantly going with, how this welterweight division is evolving. I really want to know, like you already told me, you weren't expecting the Jarrah Al Silawi fight right away. But, man, how bad do you want to complete that trilogy?
Oh man, it's up there, man. I definitely want to compete it. Do you know what it is? Well, the last time that we fought, I was like, I was on a low after the Costin Harris fight, and I had other stuff going off as well. I wasn't really in a good headspace. But the place that I'm in today, man, I'll smoke this guy. Like, Jarrah's got no chance when I'm in a good space. I don't think any of these welterweights have got a chance. I'm too sharp, too fast.
Yeah, something's definitely changed. I mean, I saw you go over to South Africa. That didn't go too well for you. And then right after that, like something kind of, I think made sense to you. And then since then, you've been on a tear, dude. Like you've been nonstop going through people.
South Africa fight was the turning point. I can remember being backstage and like, I don't know, I just felt really angry going into that fight. Like I was disappointed with myself in the last two performances. And I knew that I needed to make a bit of a statement as well. And also that was a show where I wasn't so like high up on the card as well. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, no, I'm falling down. I'm not fucking like this ain't open. I'm gonna put a statement out there. So I remember like everything when I was throwing punches at that guy, man, I was launching at him.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah, no, definitely did. And you know what? Very apt nickname, the Bomber. You really like to throw those bombs, right? And you like to stand in the pocket right in front of your opponent. You like to avoid those wrestling exchanges mainly because I think you just like to keep it standing up so much. Is that what we should be expecting from you this weekend?
Yeah, well, mate, I like to hit on point as well, man. I don't really tend to waste too many shots. I'm like really sharp at the moment as well. As I've been sparring and stuff, I've noticed that I'm hitting the targets exactly where I want to hit them and stuff. So, yeah, you can always expect that shit with me. When it comes to throwing heavy leather, let's do it.
It's all about that heavy leather, man. And you know, what do you make of your opponent, Abdul? I mean, clearly this is going to be one of those wrestler versus striker dynamics, I believe. I could be wrong entirely. But what do you make of him? What do you make of his fight style? What do you make of how he approaches the game?
Oh, he's a beast. He's very professional. I like when somebody knows what they're good at and they just go for it. I can appreciate it. But like I said, I don't believe any of these guys are on my level when it comes to me on the day, feeling my best, feeling the way that I do right now. Man, I just look through them, bro.
Well, this is great. Like heading into fight week, spirits are high, and you're feeling good. What is the best possible result that you want? I mean, this is usually me asking the "What's your prediction?" question, but I hate that question because come on, how are you gonna predict? I know it's all about the hype. I know people want to hear a prediction, but how do you think this fight's gonna go?
I think, wow, like I said, the way that I'm feeling right now, I feel like I'm gonna see everything. He looks a bit tense already, like when we've been close to each other. So the best result for me is to come out safe and with the win. That's it.
Yeah, you were close to him. You said he feels a little nervous. What gave that away?
It's just you get this like inkling when you're around people, innit? Like we went into the media like interviews a minute ago, and the COVID testing and stuff. And you can see, like, you can't, like, the eyes don't lie, innit? Like, little twitches you do and stuff like that. Like, I had a quick look, and then I just, like, kept nice and relaxed and thought, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it shifts uncomfortably, a little tense, doesn't look your way exactly. I think I know what you're, I think I know what you're saying. And, you know, the whole process of being in two main events in a row, I think we should just call you Carl the main event booth, right? Being in two main events in a row, and I think a third coming your way if you win this fight, which I hope you do. And you know, going into this, do you like the obligations that come with being a guy who they can feel very safe putting at the top of the card, the responsibilities that come with it? With that I mean the media, talking to guys like me, you know, who just blowing up your phone all the time, stuff like that. Does it get annoying? Does it get frustrating at any point?
Nah, I love it, man. It's good. Like, bro, this is what I signed up for. Do you know what I mean? I came to be a part of this game and like really absorb everything that comes with it. Like being the main event is what it's about. When you're at the bottom of the card, when you're beginning, you're just looking at that spot thinking, I could do this. So now I'm here, I'm happy, man. I'm just soaking it all in. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like more eyes on you, the better, man. I mean, that's just, how it should go. And I feel like you're one of those guys who really can kind of carry this company forward into the future. Because I feel like people, and I talk to anybody I can about this, and I really want to hear your opinion, right? I'm just going to lay out a hypothesis for you. My hypothesis is that there is a bipolarity in the world of MMA. There's the Western half of MMA, and by Western half, I specifically mean, the UFCs and the Bellators. Yeah, America. There we go. And then there's the rest of the world, right? Where you have people who essentially are, in my humble opinion, right? As a guy who's trying to become an analyst in this game, in my humble opinion, people who are just as, if not better than most of the guys, or if not a lot of the guys over in the US, but it's just a difference in how they're perceived. Right? One championship, Brave, Ryzen, there's a plethora of companies, M1, the list goes on, right? There's so many guys, and I feel like they're sometimes slept on. Like, if you look at how it's gone for people who went over from the UFC to promotions like One Championship, or even Ryzen with Bellator, it hasn't really ended well. Do you feel like that exists?
Yeah, I think when guys been to the UFC and they hold themselves at that top level as well, they can also overlook people and just think that they're better. Do you know what I mean? And I thought a guy who was in the UFC and my last supposed to be opponent was the same sort of category. Do you know what I mean? The guy I was supposed to be fighting in Brazil. So I always believe these guys, they look down like I've been in the UFC. These guys aren't as good as me, kind of shit. And it's a rude awakening when these are the same guys that will be in the gym busting your ass every day. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need everyone around us, and I don't believe I'm better than anybody. Like, when it comes to in the gym or competing against somebody else, I know that person's just as dangerous as I am. Do you know what I mean? And that's what keeps you so sharp. That's what keeps you alive and focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on your toes.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be like always looking for that killer shot.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of these guys who, ex-UFC guys might sleep on, saw what happened to Eddie Alvarez, saw what happened to Sage Northcutt. I think one of them got their skull fractured getting knocked out. It was horrible to watch, and yeah, that's just it. You can't sleep on anyone. That's just the nature of the game, man. And it's not even like I'm sitting here in Pakistan, so I have an interest talking about the rest of the world in MMA. It's just how the game is, man. It's one punch. Yeah. Any point in time during the fight, you connect with one thing, you throw your entire plan out the window. It doesn't matter. You just knocked out. That's just how this game is, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, man. But that's the beauty of this sport as well. It's like roulette. It's like gambling with your fist.
Yeah, literally gambling with your fist. That is what it is. And growing up as an MMA fan, can you guess who my favorite fighter was? I'll give you a hint. He was in the UFC, and he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. He's Tito, maybe?
Chael Sonnen, man. He's my favorite fighter growing up. Right, exactly. Because I was a pro wrestling fan my entire life. And I love this guy. All of a sudden, I switch I'm like, what?
The way that he talks and holds himself and that. Yeah,
exactly. I'm like, who's this guy talking mad shit about Anderson Silva? I thought Anderson Silva was a world-class fighter. And he's like, Anderson Silva, you suck. And all of that. And then I remember 4 1/4 round, man. Chael Sonnen put a beating on him. And then it was the most heartbreaking moment for me. Triangle choke last second. You're out of there, buddy. You're not a champ. I was like, damn. That's just how this game goes, man. One punch, one whatever. You're out of there.
That's it. You get relaxed for a second. You get comfortable. That's it, man.
Yeah, that is it. And you know what? Let's switch gears. Jarrah Al Silawi again. I really want to talk to you about this guy because you know what I mean? Like, this is a fight for me written in the stars. What?
He loves me, man. I think he's one fan.
Yeah, and there's a lot of history here. Like, a lot, and I'm talking like Cage Warriors 10. Right, Cage Warriors, of course, being one of the premier promotions in the UK. And I don't know, I tried finding this footage. I couldn't find it. Maybe Topology got it wrong. Was it true that you guys competed in your professional debut in Cage Warriors 10, you and Jarrah Al Silawi?
Yeah, in Jordan.
Yeah, and you knocked him out.
Yeah, I think I was brought over there because I was a good level amateur. I think I was brought over there to test him, but to lose. Do you know what I mean? He was like the, I don't know, like the homeboy hero or whatever it is.
Yeah. You were the enhancement talent, as we would say in pro wrestling terms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think I've been that for people for a few times, and they've just got it wrong. Like, well, don't put me in there against your top guy.
Yeah. Don't put me against a Jordanian lion in Jordan. I'm gonna knock him the fuck out in the first round.
Exactly.
And 3 years later, your second fight took place. Of course, he got a decision over you. What did you take away from that fight? And personally, when I watched it, it was a lot of wrestling. It was a lot of mixing it up from him. I feel like he had a solid performance there. What did you take away?
I took away that. All right, I felt in the exchanges he didn't want it at all. He was like pulling away from the strikes, and yeah, basically for me, it felt like he just wanted to grind out the win. But like, I was not in a freaking good position myself. And I knew if I'm going to if I'm going to keep competing at this level, I need to make sure I'm mentally and like physically in my top peak. Do you know what I mean? I need to be there and be present, because when you like go into this sport half-hearted, bro, it's not a nice place to be, man. And now look, I'm fortunate enough, like I didn't get taken out there like before, and we grinded out like the 5 rounds or whatever it was. Well, was it 3? I don't even know.
I think it was.
But
3.
it was we grinded it out, and you got like a pretty boring win if you see from me, because like I come out of there pretty like unscathed. I got this like a cut on my eye, under my eye. But do you know what I mean? I was no different. Do you know what I mean? I didn't take any damage, so. Yeah.
And I feel like going into a fight after a second fight like this, you got to be in a headspace where you're like, well, I'm not worried about this guy. You know, I might lose. That is something I can't control, but I'm not worried about him sleeping me or embarrassing me or whatever, because you felt his power for like 3 rounds or 5 rounds, however long it was.
Yeah. And I think it was showing like before as well how nervous he was coming into the fight. Even when I was like twitching and stuff, he'd like back away and overreact. Yeah. Which, do you know what I mean? Like hindsight, like now I'm thinking about it after, I was like, oh, I should have done this, that, and the other. But like at the time, I don't know what I was thinking. To me, I was fighting a guy that I already knocked out in 30 seconds, and he had something to gain from the fight. I personally didn't. Do you know what I mean? And like I was coming from losing a title fight against last minute opponent change. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was supposed to be fighting Mohammed Fakhreddine for the title, and I was basically my whole training camp was to be fighting a shorter, heavy-handed striker. Yeah. And then the night before, he passed out trying to make weight or whatever. And then I got Carson Harris, who's just basically tall and
wrestler.
Grappler. Yeah, grappler. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like lastminute.com, but yeah. We tried to make the best of the change, and in that fight as well, I was like, I think I was in danger of submission. Like in the first round, he got like a head and arm choke or something like that. Managed to get out of it, and then since then, it was just grinding up against the cage. Do you know what I mean? Wasting the time and stuff like. And when I watch that back, I just get mad about that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, fuck. Like, if I would have prepped for that guy, I was like, oh. I had a totally different like approach towards it. So like when I came to the Jarrah fight, I was just like, man, fuck this shit. Do you know what I mean? I was in like a yeah. So. Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine. I mean, you're completely, training for another fighter, doesn't work out, and then pulls out, and then you get a completely new fighter. It's a complete. It's one of those things that you got to take a reset from, and I feel like that Jarrah fight was a kind of a reset that you took for yourself, and I feel like that's something that's very important sometimes. When you're going through fights, and then something suddenly, unexpectedly happens. And I actually want to talk to you about something else as well while we're on the subject. Jorge Masvidal, a lot of other fighters, even Conor to a certain extent, would refer to fighters who have a, wrestling, grappling, grinding kind of a style as crotch sniffers or boring fighters. Or if you want to watch a fight, go watch Kamaru Usman compete. I completely believe in that hypothesis, to be honest. He's put me to sleep a couple of times without ever even fighting me. So that's the only people he's putting to sleep. Sorry, I just had to do it. Do you agree with this assessment? Do you agree with this kind of a fight style being in some ways a negative to the sport?
Yeah, like for casual fans, yeah, and for like people who just like like when you got your Jorge Masvidals and your Conor McGregors, it brings in loads of random people that are probably going to be first-time watchers to the sport or been watching it for a small amount of time. And you get guys like this that grind out a fight, and these guys are going to the bar to get a drink. They're like, yeah, fuck this. Do you know what I mean? They can't appreciate. And basically what people like to see is just like the Jorge Masvidals and the Conors and the Anderson Silvas. You want to see people get smoked. You want to see like, you want to stand in there, putting it on in the pocket and just ripping people to shreds, man. That's how these guys' names are so big. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And their star shines much brighter than these alleged quote-unquote crotch sniffers, but at the same time, you know, it is the more safer way of I think this is something that's existed in combat sports forever. Like, you know, Floyd Mayweather is not the most flashiest boxer. He's not the most, like, he's not gonna brawl with you. But at least Floyd Mayweather's still exciting to watch. You know, like, you can still see him moving and doing stuff. But if this guy's pressed up against the cage, it just makes you go, all right, man, maybe we need to yellow card this guy. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's all a part of the sport as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, okay, our job as the strikers to stop this from happening. And I think that's equally as exciting to watch. Do you know what I mean? You see, like, somebody like Stylebender, and he's pinning guys' heads to the floor and just getting off and then still picking away at them. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive to watch as well. So, yeah, we like compliment each other as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is the beauty of the sport. Ultimately, if you want to look at MMA, it's not kickboxing, right? So, of course, there's a grappling element to it. So you can't say, you know, that's unfair. It's not unfair, but ultimately, you know, if you ask two people to watch a fight, they'd much rather watch a fight that has, you know, it doesn't even have to be like, you know, I'd love to watch GSP and Khabib go at it, even though they're two grapplers. But that's because I know they both grapple with the intention of finishing the fight, as opposed to just grappling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fight as well, man. Kind of edged the fight towards Khabib just because he's younger. Do you know what I mean?
And the weight.
Yeah, well, he's lighter, but he's younger, and he's like, he trains with really like high level guys as well. So yeah, I'd give Khabib that.
Oh man, you know what? I'm picking GSP on this one. Like, I thought about this the other day. I was like, you know, I really gotta factor in the fact that GSP might be cutting some weight if they're doing 165, 155. Sure. That weight thing's going to be there, the age is going to be there, but ultimately if you keep these both standing, which I think the only person who can keep the fight standing with Khabib isn't Tony Ferguson, it's GSP. And if GSP can keep it standing and he's got that jab all night, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? Yeah, man, it's just a crazy fight. I'm so excited for it. And speaking of jabs all night, I got to talk to you about your fight with Hayder Hassan real quick before we go off the air. Oh, man, that was a beautiful performance. I talked to Hayder as well on the podcast. What a nice guy. You know, and he talked about how that fight went for him. He talked about the broken nose and everything. But, you know, just isolating, just keeping him out of the equation for now, and just isolating your performance, you know, you displayed something which I think could be very vital moving forward, which is you had an excellent jab all night long. Is that something you've been working
on? Yeah, it was something I was working on literally just for him. Like, we didn't man, that training camp coming up to that fight was rubbish, like proper. Like, I was struggling to get people in to spot with. I was struggling to freaking like a lot of stuff, even motivate myself. And then I was working with Charles Libor, one of the guys at my gym, and he was just like, game plan for this guy, just smash him with the jab and stick and move. And he's like basically saying all the shots will come to you, but you just gotta wait. Like, he's gonna bowl forward. I'm like, okay, cool. So we just drilled this over and over and over again. Even most of it like towards the last couple of weeks of the training camp. And it worked out. It worked out perfectly, man.
That's yeah, I mean, definitely did work out. But you know, you have a boxing background, and I think that's really interesting. You know, the division like the one which is the BRAVE Welterweight division. But in the Hayder Hassan fight, I saw you really mix it up, man. Like, some beautiful kicks in there, and even Phil Campbell pointed that out in commentary. You know, like the the 1-2 combinations with the inside leg kick or whatever, combination you're throwing with the end in the leg kick. I thought that was excellent. And do you sometimes feel as if like you want to break out of the mold of being considered a boxing guy? Because every time I hear your fights, people just say, this is a boxer. He wants to stand and box with you.
Yeah. So it just depends on what's in front of me at the time. If somebody's like, I don't know, like slower or something like that, it allows me to get more stuff off. I pick out what I see in it. So if I'm stood in front of somebody, let's say, and they're trying to do them striking exchanges with me, but I told you I'm fast and I pick the shots that I want to pick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See me any given day, any shit can come out. Depends on if I watch on back the night before. Do you know what I mean? I watch some crazy shit's coming out.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I'm gonna just let you go. I know you got a lot of stuff to take care of. I know you got a busy weekend. Oh, right before I do the ending, I want to ask, how is it getting tested for COVID?
Oh man, that hurt, bro. Like you can do it in the mouth or up the nose. I was just like, go in the nose, and I kind of wish I didn't. I felt it like. Literally, I felt like I could touch my brain with this stick.
Yeah, dude, I got tested as well a couple of weeks ago. Goes in your mouth, and you're not supposed to touch your face, right? But your immediate reaction is to touch your eye. And I was like, wait, I'm not supposed to do this because it starts watering up and it hurts, man. It's such a weird times, man. These are weird times. That's all I gotta say.
I was sneezing. I was like,
yeah, I mean, if you sneeze right after getting a COVID test, that's not a good look, is it?
What the fuck?
Sneezing and coughing has been changed forever. Carl, the floor is yours, my man. I mean, anyone you want to shout out, anything you want to say, anything you want to say to your opponent, anything you want us to get across to our very limited yet passionate audience, whatever you want to do, man, go for it.
All right, thanks to all the guys that helped me prep for this fight. Backyard BJJ, that's the guys that have managed to come over to the house and rep it weekly, daily. Yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah, everybody who's helped me with the fight camp sponsorship wise as well. Symphosian, Treadmark. Who else has helped me? Sports Time, Fourth Dimension, Sports Therapy PT, Trademark, Booster. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And 28 Barbers as well. Boom. There you go, Jay.
Well, whoever that is a happy man. This has been Daniyal Nasir Mirza with Carl the Bomber Booth. It has been my absolute honor and privilege talking to you, sir. And I hope we can do this again. Hopefully with a smiling face after this fight at some point. And needless to say, from me and the On the Mic team, we just want to say good luck to in your fight. Kick some ass, man.
Respect, my brother. It's been a good interview. I like your style. Cool. I look forward to doing it again, bro.
Appreciate it so much, man. Can't wait for it. This has been Daniyal Nasir Mirza. You've been watching The Way, and you're watching On the Mic. Before you go anywhere, just do me a favor, right? Subscribe to our channel. It's been so many times you've come to our videos, watched them, haven't subscribed to the channel. Please do so, or I might have to send a bomber to kick your ass. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this shit, and most importantly, from me and from Carl, as always, keep it tight. Stay tuned.